I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm excited to share with you the speaker portion of our Connections Over Coffee gathering of the On Purpose Woman Global Community. Dr. Ahriana Platten will share with us how to speak from the heart instead of the hurt. Ahriana is a gifted speaker, best-selling author, and mentor who has worked in parallel career fields for more than 30 years. Spirituality, and entrepreneurship. Her unique system for blending these interests has allowed her to teach and travel across North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. As the founder of asoulfulworld.com, she's a courage builder who helps people master the art of living an authentic, balanced, and purpose-filled life. Thank you, Ahriana, for being with us, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Jenny. It's always, for me, a great pleasure to be part of this community. And one of the things that I love so much is that we do have safe space to share with one another. That this is not just any space. It's a space where women can come and gather and speak and learn from one another and share a bit about who we are. So I'm really grateful that you are here. I'm really grateful to those of you who are giving the gift of your time, because I understand that time is your greatest commodity. And you have brought yourself and the gift of your time here. And so in a very short time, I want to match that gift with what I hope will be a gift for you, something that you can take from this time that is valuable in your life. And what has been on my heart lately, what has been on my mind and in my heart lately is the condition of our world. And I'm sure that if I could ask each of you, that you each have had your own concerns recently or not so recently for some time now about the state of our world. What is going on with our world? We are in chaos. I hear this a lot. I hear, from my children, I don't know whether we should have had kids, Mom, because climate change and what have I brought children into? And I hear from people I work with, the economy. I don't know if we're going to be able to stay in business this year. From people in partnership, it's so difficult to be in relationship right now. There are so many challenges, and people use a variety of ways to contextualize what's going on in our world. But what I hear often is that we are in decline, that we live in a world that is declining, that there's a breakdown of our system of life, that whatever is ahead of us, it's not a pretty picture. Are any of you hearing any of those kind of comments from the people that you work with? Right. So here's the thing we know. We know that what we seek is what we find. And if we don't seek it, we don't find it. We know that. And most of us in this room are women with a little bit of gray hair, even if it's underneath the color like mine is. We're women who have a few years. Some of you are a little bit younger than me. Some of you may have a little bit more gray hair than I do. But what we have as wisdom is a sensitivity to the condition of life. And there's a sales story that I want to put in front of you for question right now. And that sales story is that the way you sell things is by figuring out what the pain point is and speaking from the pain point. And we are really well conditioned for this. We are really well conditioned to speak about the pains of our life, about the pains of our world, about the hopeless and helpless way we feel in the world, and to look for something that will resolve helpless, hopeless, and keep it from becoming apathetic. So I want to challenge this, which is not to say that it isn't an effective strategy. If it's done right, identifying a pain point and bringing forth a long-term solution to the pain point is really valuable. And a lot of us have gifts that bring people from their pain point into a place that is better suited for them to find success. But in the bigger picture of life, if we move beyond selling our services, we move beyond having a thriving business, we move beyond all the things that we use in life to provide our income, to distract us, to make us have a sense of purpose, all of those things. And we kind of back ourselves off where we can look at the globe. Just imagine that you could just see the globe in front of you. You can kind of get that perspective, that far enough away perspective that you're looking at the whole planet. Those individual businesses are not the important thing. The important thing is the health and the well-being of the world we share. And so when I get the chance to talk about that bigger picture, to invite especially brilliant businesswomen, heartfelt, brilliant businesswomen into this conversation, it is an opportunity for me to challenge in all of us our doomsday story. Oh my gosh, the world is going to hell in a handbasket. I don't know, it's a good thing I won't be around to see my kids and what they have to go through. The reason that I bring this to the forefront is because whether you are a biological mother, a mother of people that who work for you or with you, or you mother a garden, we as women have some natural nurturing ability in the world. We care about things differently. And there is a whole couple of generations of people in the world right now who believe what we say, who believe that they can't fix anything in the world, who believe that what is coming for them is more painful than where we are today, because they see it in the news, they hear it in their schools, they hear it at the doctor's office, they hear it everywhere they go. In their therapist's office, oh yeah, it's really hard today, honey. Our children, our young adults, our college-age students, and our millennials have been receiving very consistently a message that there is no future. And if we seek a place, if what we give them is an invitation to see that there is no future, then they will find that. And if we tell them that there's no future, then they have no reason to work hard, no reason to challenge themselves to grow, and very little reason to try and innovate, because they don't believe that they can, because the wiser people ahead of them have already trashed the world and can't be saved. So I'm here today to invite you to notice who you're telling your story to and how you're telling your story and how important your story is. That when we speak as women of wisdom and we invite people to look for the innovative ideas that come up, we open a really big door for the world. So I don't know about you, but I have several children, and my kids, when they were young, would turn on Mario Brothers. And my kids, my oldest is 42 and my youngest is 22. So I have a couple of generations of kids in my own family. But when video games came into being and my kids went to the television and turned on Mario Brothers and I watched them play, I could be looking at a screen with absolutely nothing on it, and they would jump that little guy up, and there would be a beautiful little star that would twinkle and a cascade of points that they got out of thin air where there was nothing. It was shocking to me to watch them and to realize that they were noticing something that was completely invisible to me. But they were born at a time when their exposure is different than what I was exposed to. So I ask you, ladies, do you believe that the young people in our world might have ideas that we don't have, might have skills that we don't have, might have a way of moving life forward in a way that we can't imagine, and might have answers to the problems that plague our world right now that we can't even see? They're invisible to us because it's not our work. It's theirs. So I'm here in Europe, and I spoke to a few of you before we got started about this 6-month trip I'm on. And one of the things that you find in Europe, almost everywhere you go, are these massive, beautiful cathedrals. And I have seen them. I've been in half a dozen of them since I got here. And they have many things in common: the shape, the size, the scope, the work that gets done there, all of that. But what I find so interesting that they have in common is that they took many hundreds of years to build. That sometimes generations of a family, one generation started with the foundation, and several, 500, 600, 700 years later, the same family was still working on building and actually got to see the fruition of that massive, beautiful building. And I can't help but think to myself what it might feel like to be on the foundation level, to know that I would lay those bricks, that I would have an imaginary picture of what might be possible. And I would lay those bricks knowing I would never see this building done, but training my son or my daughter or the next generation of people to see the next picture, to imagine what I was imagining in a bigger way, because they have to do the next thing. How could I have imagined that 500 or 600 years later, my family would still be building? And what that would be like to know that I was building something I might not see the outcome of, but that my family would, that I had enough faith to build the foundation for something so massive because I believed that somebody would pick up the pieces and go forward. And that's the thing I see in our youth. Are we willing to use this time when systems are breaking down and things are changing to be the bricklayers that build a foundation, that actually lay the blocks of something possible, in the hopes that a generation of people and the next generation and the next generation and maybe 2 generations after that will come along and continue to build on what we are building right now, and will create the world that we want but are not envisioning because we're putting our energy into what's wrong. So how do we speak about that? If we speak from the hurt, from the pain of what is happening for us in our world right now, we will continue to allow the generations coming after us to envision more of what they have right now. What we say matters right now. And it's hard in today's world. If you sit around the table with a bunch of friends, I promise you, will very quickly, your conversation will wind itself down to what is wrong with the world. And you will be seen as a little bit Pollyanna-ish if you're the person saying, you know what, I believe there's something good happening. I actually believe something good can come out of this. Whew, there's no place to go in that conversation. I can't complain about anything. But the change is necessary for us to begin to use our voice and our ability to envision something better, so that the generations in front of us have the opportunity to see themselves into action, to see that we are starting something they're going to contribute to. We're contributing to something that someone else started. And somewhere, I can't help but think that somewhere along building that massive, beautiful cathedral, some wall had to fall down. Something had to go wrong. Somebody had to take it apart and rebuild it. I want us to use our hearts when we speak about life on this planet, to pull ourselves back and look at the beauty of what we have, to recognize that humanity is brilliant, to recognize that we have something that no robot will replace. We have compassion. We have love. We have life force. We have the ability to vision something that seems impossible, because those robots, they work on logic. And they're going to see what can be done logically. Humanity knows life isn't logical. All kinds of things have happened to us that are illogical, and they still worked. So can you be with me in a message that says there is a future? There is a future for our world. Can you do that and not spiritually bypass what we're really going through? Because we're going through tough stuff, and we have to change some real things, and we have to educate the younger generations about the things that need to change. We have a lot of big work to do. And I promise you, those people that were building the cathedrals, they were telling their kids what needed to happen next. They were giving them instruction along the way, but the vision that they would build what needed to be built was solid. And the vision for a better world is solid in us if we allow ourselves to have it. If we allow ourselves to really believe in our heart and in our mind that the generations coming back behind us are capable of things that we haven't dreamed of. And that wisdom will come through them in the same ways it's come through the artists and inventors and brilliant minds that have made things happen in our life. One of my favorite authors is Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, and she's the woman who wrote Women Who Run with the Wolves. And she says, "Do not lose heart. We were made for these times. We were made for these times. We came here for these times. We came with all the spiritual gifts possible for these times. And one of the gifts that we have is the ability to envision something better." So I want to challenge you to look at life through the lens of how it can improve. If everything went well, there's another really good book by a lady named Mindy Odlin. She wrote a book called What If Up? And what she taught in her book is a very simple little understanding that we use what if to go down. What if the world falls apart? What if climate change wipes us out? What if we go into World War III? What if? But she invites us to use our what if up. What if the systems break down and better systems are put in place? What if there is an answer to climate change and it's in the hearts and minds of our young people? What if what is happening right now is the only way we can break down the broken systems enough to build healthier systems, healthier ways? What if these robots open the door for us to appreciate so deeply what it is to be human, to really understand the heart and soul of who we are as humans and what our great gift is? What if? What if you run the risk of believing there is a future? I grabbed this quote by Rebecca Solnit, and it says, "Hope is not a lottery ticket you can sit on the sofa and clutch. Hope is an axe you break down doors with in an emergency." And I love that, right? If you're sitting in the fire, that lottery ticket does you no good. You're waiting for the person that has the axe or to find the axe to break the door down to get through so that you can change the situation you're in. To believe, to run the risk that there is a future, and to genuinely commit your heart to believing in it and to move with it and to live from that understanding is an axe. And people will shake their head at you and wonder what is wrong with you, that you are willing to speak into it. And this is why I asked you earlier, what stops you from speaking? Because voices willing to speak into the vision of a future are rare in our world. And it for us to do it, we have to be brave and courageous, and we have to be steadfast, and we have to plant our feet and not be moved from the vision. Otherwise, the temple never gets built. So that is a heart message. It's not a message of the hurt that's going on in our world, and it's not a message from the mind. This is an invitation to speak from your heart for the sake of the future of all of humanity, and most especially the young people you love. To be a voice into the ears and heart of the young people on our planet who you love and care about, that they are wise, that they are guided, that they will do well, and that the foundation that's happening right now will be solid so that they can build on it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm looking for my spotlight here. Ahriana, are you there? Oh.
Yes, I am. Sorry.
That's okay. I thank you. Thank you so much. You have put into words so much of what has been running around in my head, and I really didn't quite know what to do with it or how to express it or anything. So thank you so much for that. Typically I will ask the people here to unmute so we can applaud and hoop and holler. That doesn't feel right for me right now. I'd like to keep it quiet, and then we can go into our, go off the recording and have some moments where we could talk about what you just said. Okay? So thank you. Thank you so much. If anybody wants to do this, you can do that. You can see you. And I want to thank anyone else who's watching this live or the replay on our YouTube channel. Please check out all of the other women on our channel who share their gifts, their wisdom, and their expertise to inspire you to move forward, whether it's about your business or other parts of your life. If you want to join us for one of our Zoom or in-person gatherings, go to my website, opwgc.com, where you can find out all about our community and magazine. And also be sure to check out all the information about Ahriana and what she offers, which is also in the text of this video. Thanks for watching.